Well, hello internets, here we are. Kind of back with a vlog for the day in progress. This spring sure has been a roller coaster ride of weather. I know most springs are probably like this. I'm sure last year was probably like this and the year before was probably like this. However, with everything that has gone on in our world in the last year, I am so looking forward to getting back out on the road, getting back out and having my epic road trip, because that didn't happen last year. I had a couple of camping adventures and a few things, but my road trip was postponed because of, well, world events. I really wanted to get out in early April and start on it, but it was like, plus 10 during the day at the most, and like minus 20 at nights. And yeah, I know the camper has a heater, but what if, and the heater hasn't been tested or serviced in a few years, and the guy before me didn't really use it much at all in the winter time. It was more of a summer trailer for him, and so it just kind of sat, and it hasn't, like I said, the heater hasn't really been serviced. And so I've kind of bided my time, done some stuff here, and got a few few things combined that I want to do this summer. And I really want to go on the road. However, I'm still waiting for the weather to I would like it to be plus 10s at night consistently before I hit the road, because at plus 10 you can have an extra blanket, wear some sweatpants in bed, keep a little warmer than minus 25. And with me, my medical conditions that I'm working with or having to deal with, having not cold makes things a whole lot more enjoyable. So like I said, I've been itching to get out and to clean up the trailer. However, I was out there would have been a couple weeks ago, and it was really muddy out there. So still snow, still muddy, still freezing at night, so I can't flush out the system to de-winterize it, as they call it. So I'm gonna hang tight for a little bit. I got a couple extra things I want to do here just to get prepared for spring. I would love to place a large online shopping order. However, I don't think it'll get here with things going on before I leave to go on my trip in the next 3 weeks to a month or so. I'm guessing probably or so, because it looks like we're headed back to another slowdown, another shutdown, just in time for the summer months. Campsites were just starting to advertise for the season. Certain restaurants were just starting to reopen up. They just spent the thousands of dollars to restock their restaurants. They just hired back some of the staff they had to let go and hired new staff, and is looking like they're going to have to shut down or potentially shut down again. And I'm not 100% sure if this is just the way it is. Somebody playing dictator in an office somewhere, some kind of sadistic social experiment that in another couple months somebody's gonna pop on the internet and go, surprise, it was all part of a social experiment. You've all failed because you didn't help out each other. You instead hoarded up toilet paper and spat on the little guy, and called and ratted on your neighbors when they had family over, when when they were told not to and stuff like that. I don't know, but you know how they play these pranks and jokes and April Fool's jokes. Well, nothing can top what's gone on in the last year, year and a half in the world here. I don't believe nothing has ever come close in our past yet to top this in terms of contradictions and head shaking and stuff. Well, it's about plus 12 out there currently today. I am very strongly thinking about going for a walk in a park before they close that. It's only a matter of time before they start to put up barricades and fences on our local parks again, because apparently walking by yourself in a park in the literal middle of nowhere where the chances of meeting another person is of too great risk. So they'd rather keep kids off of playground equipment and keep people out of parks and pave over parks and build big gray concrete style apartment buildings or something to house multiple families in or something. I'm not quite sure what their thoughts or plans are on that. I've been kicking around my future plans for YouTube. I know I've mentioned this before with cameras, with editing software. As things age and a guy starts to reevaluate his life, starts to rethink things when he's had a big change in his direction and change in his life, similar to what I've had happen in mine. And you start to realize that, like, the whole reason why I started YouTube was to bring what I was doing or what was going on in our community to my dad, bring the videos to my dad. And then when YouTube came along, I started uploading videos to YouTube. And then Dad watched the videos, others watched the videos, and then, you know, I started filming what was going on in my world, hence the name, of course. And then I started filming project videos, trying to help others with certain things that I struggled on, things that I didn't know about. Many of the videos that you watched, especially in those early years, were videos of me learning virtually in real time with you guys watching the video, because I had no idea some of those things either. And you go on the internet, you go on Google's, and you start to search things out, and there's no information, no other videos on those subjects, so you make your video trying to help out others, trying to save others from the expensive, unnecessary repair bill, especially when it's something simple like a tail light bulb, or your something came off with something when you pulled it off in the spring. And you know, especially if it's something simple, something that anybody can do, something that's not dangerous, you know, and it's not like you're doing brake work or tearing in your engine or something extreme for a beginner anyway. And then when my dad passed away, I lost my footing, lost my direction, lost the beginning of the channel, the reason for the channel to start, and the reason the videos had started, kind of a thing, right? And when Dad passed away, I had a lot of things going on in my life at that time, dealing with my workplace injury, dealing with the fraud and the scam that was going on between my employer and the whole system there that failed, of course. And then dealing with the bank, because the moment they smelt blood in the water, that's when things started to circle. The sharks came out, and they really didn't stop until about 2020, 2 years after I let go of the house, 2 years after I had to make the big choice, I did everything I could to work with the banks. And it's almost like they had their mind made up. It's almost like they had a buddy in the real estate business or a buddy in the old house flipping business that wanted that house, that knew they could put $50,000, $60,000 of mascara on that old house and then sell it for almost $300,000, which is exactly what they did. But, for someone like me who didn't have the income, was surviving on savings, was surviving on what he had stashed away underneath the rock in the backyard, kind of a thing, was surviving on anything that he could bring home to resell, to fix, to resell. The $2,000, $2,500 monthly overhead was unreachable, unobtainable, and especially when it became just myself there, you start to think, why are you doing this just for you? Just to keep your a roof over your head? Why are you stressing out? During those times, my health declined a lot. During those times, a lot of things happened. A lot of dark times happened. A lot of dark things that I never shared on YouTube, that you guys never seen. You guys probably didn't see 5%, if that, of what actually really happened behind the camera or when the camera was off. And I kept things going and rolling for quite a while until things had to give. And now I sit here, 2.5 or so years later, and I think to myself, why didn't I pull the plug in 2012? Why didn't I pull the plug in 2014 or so, when the economy was still good-ish, when it was just starting to change? Sell the house, buy my RV, buy the truck then, and start living my dream like I'm doing now. And you make your choices, you make your decisions with the best information you have at hand at the time. Sometimes when your mind is clouded, your judgment is altered, your judgment is not right. Sometimes you go down the wrong course, the wrong path that takes many, many years to course correct, to redirect. And people in your life, they have other thoughts, other ideas. They're there for the money, they're there for the free car, they're there for all the stuff they can get from you. And when things become tough and you ask them to help out with putting gas in their own car, to pay for their own insurance, to buy $300-400 worth of clothes for themselves instead of you buying their clothes for them, they won't do that. And then they decide to bail and go on their own path. And at first it hurts you, it cuts you deeply, but then you realize that they were part of the reason why you were where they were part of the reason that you were there where you're at, because you were sacrificing everything to keep their life that they were accustomed to going, and not really getting much, if anything, back in return. And once you realize that all these things that you were overpaying on were drowning you, and you cut all that loose, your life starts to change. Your life starts to become better. You start being creative again. Your mind starts working again. You start being happier again. You start having a better outlook on life, a positive outlook on life. You crawl out of that dark place that you were in. It's no longer eyeball deep, it's only ankle deep kind of a thing, and things start to move in a more positive direction. Remember, all it takes is one small change to get things going, to get things rolling. If you deal with chronic pain, if you deal with illnesses, if you deal with things that limit you, You aren't trapped. As long as you still got mobility, you still got use of your legs, you can walk down them stairs, you can walk to the park. You know, little short steps a day can lead to a marathon eventually one day. And even if you don't have the use of your legs, chances are you're in a building that either is at ground level or has an elevator. You can wheel outside and enjoy the fresh air, change your perspective, change your outlook on life, and things will start to fall in place eventually. Remember, things are always darkest before they get better. Believe me, I've been there. I've been through government things. I've been through government issued psychiatrists and government issued mental health things, and all of those people for me didn't work. You know, they may work for you, but they didn't work for me. I had to deal with all of this virtually alone. Family, friends, people that were in my life when times were good were not there when I needed them. So it just takes one person in your life to believe in you, and that one person is you. After that, things start to get better. But thanks for joining me on this here video. Thanks for watching, and as always, comment, subscribe, and enjoy.